Excuse-moi juste de revenir à la question de la...
Yes, sorry for coming back on the point about the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia and the images from yesterday. Have you turned to the authorities in that country to try to clarify what happened? I think it was 10 million that had been promised to that country, was it, to help them? Has that already been granted, or will that be after, and will that be checked? And then there's what's happening in the court in Luxembourg in the compulsory registration of residents, those who have received temporary protection, temporary asylum. I don't know if you've read about that, but it's to do with Germany. And I'd just like to know if that could have consequences on the discussions for the distribution of asylum seekers and the temporary residents in the EU. I'll take your first question, and Natasha will come up for the court ruling. As you know, since the 25th of October, in particular after the summit on the Balkan route, we have been in contact with all of the countries in the Balkans corridor, not just the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia. And we insist that all of these countries speak to each other and speak to us. I don't need to tell you that that's not always been the case. Now we have this country-by-country contact system, which is working well with regular meetings, and we share our concerns with all of the countries. That's what's been happening, and that'll be the case with the country you just mentioned. As for the court ruling, which has just been handed down, I think that Natasha will have had time to check there. Yes. We note the court ruling. The ruling clarifies that it is possible to impose residency requirements. And this is important in the context of possible secondary movements.
Si j'ai bien compris,
if I've correctly understood the ruling, then the residency obligation is accepted, but only for reasons of integration, not for economic burden sharing. Does that have consequences? Well, we've just given the Commission's position. Now, I think you need to speak to our colleagues from the court for comments on the ruling. We can do no more as the Commission than note a ruling which has just been handed down.
Yes, but Natasha had her slot. I offered any additional things, and you rejected, so we will not come and go. Yes, please.
Sorry, this is still on migration.
Yes.
But, I mean, hopefully you can, yeah.
Let's see.
You were saying, to do with the situation on the Greece-Macedonia border, you were saying that what happens there should be in compliance with international law. It seems that many of the people who are there waiting, who are trying to cross, are Syrians and Iraqis with documentation. So what should happen? Should they be being allowed to cross and proceed further north? We have the court judgments, obviously, about Greece and its ability to deal with these people.
Damien, I don't have anything else to offer other than the position. You know the situation. You know that the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia is a third country, still a country that is part of our Western Balkans coordination network, a country that had undertook specific commitments during the 25th of October meeting and afterwards. So the situation is as it is. I think by now it is very clear the way we want to see Europe manage the crisis, and probably the scenes that we just saw, it's not our idea of managing the crisis. Anything else? Yes, please, Jorge.
On economy and Spain, could you clarify